Hi, I'm Ursula. I'm going to teach you a DBT skill this week. This comes from my friend Melody, who's learning about opposite action. And when I say skill, I mean something that you can do when you feel like crap, when you have to be around people you don't like, when you can't sleep in the middle of the night. This one is called opposite action. Opposite action in one sentence is doing the opposite of what your urge is in order to feel differently. So what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. So my urge, one of my most common urges that is probably not my best interest is to withdraw, retreat, hide, not answer voicemail, text, or email, read, sleep, and to do that when it's not in my best interest. So we have urges all the time. And you want to check your urge when it's really intense and when it's keeping you immobilized or inactive. So in my case, the urge that I have to retreat and withdraw on a day when I need to do work is not helpful. And that's the question you ask yourself. Is the urge I have, is acting on the urge that I have going to be helpful? Whether that be pull your head under the covers. Let's just use that example, okay? The thing about using this skill is that you have to want to feel differently. So let's say I've decided, well, my urge is to withdraw, and then the question is, do I want to feel differently than I do right now, which is yucky. And if I don't, then I'm not going to use this skill. But if I do this skill strategy tool called opposite action, then I will use it. So quick tips about opposite action. One is that there is no step that is too small, meaning that if getting out of bed and walking to the kitchen sounds like running a marathon, then you don't run the marathon. You do the first very small step, which is to reach over to your phone and text your friend and say, I can't get up. Or you lift your head off the pillow a micromillimeter, and then another micromillimeter. So basically, you get as small as you can manage. Now, if you can manage jumping out of bed and getting in the shower, great. If you can't, you start with like sitting up and then swinging one leg over to the side of the bed and then the other, and then feeling your feet on the floor. But what you're doing is you're doing it all the way. And again, don't do this if you don't want to feel differently. But if you do want to feel differently, do opposite action, do the opposite of what your urge is, and do it all the way. So my urge, again, is to not do anything. The opposite is to move out into the world as opposed to withdrawing to the world, withdrawing from the world. So in order to get into the world, I swing my legs over the edge of the bed, I stand up, I feel my feet on the ground, I look at the wall in front of me. I am only in this moment, and I am doing everything as if it were the only thing in the world, and that's opposite action all the way. So, tips for opposite action: choose whatever is the largest thing you can manage, and that's okay if it is lifting your head a millimeter off the pillow, throwing yourself in as if it's the only thing in the world, and doing it only if you want to feel different. This is not about being good, about being bad. It's not about beating yourself up. It's a strategy to use should you want to. Tips for the week: opposite action.